Conference, it's an absolute pleasure to follow Mark. And what a contrast he is to the three Tory Prime Ministers. They have achieved the impossible. They've each been worse than the last. I chose the short film that we've just watched because Tony Benn encouraged me. I was a care worker in my teens threatened with outsourcing. I'd never heard of a trade union until then. But I found out, and we won. And by 20, I was a shop steward, and now I'm here, obviously 21. The Labour movement gave me an education and a vocation. Conference, people sometimes point to me as someone who had a difficult start in life. She can do it, they say, so why can't you? But actually, it's not true. My life shows the opposite. Any success that I've had is shared by our movement and the Labour governments that provided the council house, the minimum wage, the welfare state and the Sure Start Centre that enabled me to achieve it. Conference, I don't want to do better than the people that I grew up with. I want us all to do better. That is why we'll upgrade social mobility to social justice, turning the Social Mobility Commission into the Social Justice Commission. And we will set that commission to work on making the whole education system fairer through the integration of private schools. Myself and John McDonnell will set out further steps the Labour government will take. But I can say today that our very first budget will immediately close the tax loopholes used by the elite private schools and use that money to improve the lives of all children. As the next Chancellor, John McDonnell will remake our economy for social justice by taxing privilege, redistributing wealth and reinvesting in public services. And so too in education by creating a new universal basic service. This is the heart of a national education service, a fundamental belief that education is a right for all, not just a privileged few. It's a right that we will radically expand. As with our National Health Service, it will be there from the very start of your life. Conference, Sure Start changed my life when I had my own son. I joined a parenting class. No one was more efficient than me at changing nappies and having a proper bedtime routine. But no one mentioned love. That is what I learned at Sure Start. We know the importance of bonding in the early years. Children who know they are loved go on to flourish. So we will deliver a renewed Sure Start programme, Sure Start Plus. Conference, the next Labour government can transform lives like the last Labour government transformed mine. Alongside it, we will introduce a new service, free nursery education for all 2-, 3- and 4-year-olds. Not childcare on the cheap to get parents back into work, but an early education service led by professionals designed to develop the whole child. Because wherever free education isn't available, we will step in and provide it. And Conference, we will end university tuition fees. But also, we have to further an adult education so that lifelong learning is available for all. And in a matter of weeks, our Lifelong Learning Commission will report outlining a new, radical and necessary vision for the future and further of adult education. For the first time, Our National Education Service will set out clearly to all of our citizens their basic rights to education throughout their lives. And I believe it's right too that we combine local accountability with national standards. Let me give you an example. Before I became an MP, I was a volunteer for the Samaritans. Some of you may know how it began. A young girl took her life because her period started. She didn't know what was happening to her. She thought she had a disease. But if she'd have had sex and relationship education, she might be here today. That's why I'm determined that every child growing up today has the right to learn about these issues, and that's why we will set out clear national guidelines and why we will stand by the teachers implementing them. There will be no opt-out in our National Education Service for equality. Every part of the system will be bound by its principles, united behind its values and held to its standards. And when existing institutions are not fit for that purpose, we will transform them. Conference, that is why we will scrap Ofsted. Schools will no longer be reduced to a one-word grade or subjected to a system that hounds our teachers from the classroom. A new system of peer review will deliver school improvement led by the experts in our schools who can achieve more working together for the common good. And a new independent body will ensure that every provider from nursery to colleges delivers the education that will be the right of every citizen. And we will also protect that right by ending the spiralling cost of school uniforms. Parents forced into debt, children in clothes that often don't fit, and the Tories failing for 4 years to keep their promise to act. So we will set a clear price cap and stop the scandal of children priced out of school. Conference, 50 years ago, in the face of the establishment opposition, Jenny Lee founded the Open University. Struggling to complete the campus before a general election, she went to the site and personally spoke to the construction workers. She told them, "This is not another university for other people's children, but for yourselves." They worked through their holiday to finish building it, and it still stands today. That means so much to me because I too needed a second chance with my own education. So many of us will have been told maybe university isn't for you. But if our education system isn't for everyone, the problem isn't us, it's the system. So we will establish a comprehensive and cooperative university. A university with academic and vocational teaching on an equal footing. Common ownership of the production, distribution and exchange of knowledge itself. Because we often hear about the value created by innovation or investment, but rarely that created by the labour of workers. Yet the resources of the new economy will not be dug out of the ground, as so often found, but it will be found in the life of the mind. That's why I reject the Tories saying we'll just spend. No, we will invest. It's an investment that will earn dividends as the next generation pays back in full. But we will reap a return far richer than any sum of money, of human potential realised. Because It's not just our services and industries that austerity hurts, but our people too. Conference, the Tories have broken Britain, but we will rebuild it. Thank you.